excited to be here. I am not a podium speaker, so you will see me here. I might move around. But my call to action will be very quick because I know we got a phenomenal speaker coming up after me, so I don't want to take up too much time. But I'm super excited to be here, like I said. Last year at Cities United, a lot of you all in the room remember the speech that I gave. It's funny because you all still remember telling me about it as I came in. However, one thing that I had to share is that after last year's Cities United, a week later, I found out that I had congestive heart failure, and I was in the hospital, kind of almost on my deathbed, so to speak. 25 at the time, wasn't really thinking too much about where I was headed because I was just kind of at this roadblock, right? So when I say I'm excited to be here, you see me with this energy, you see me up and down, this is why, because I'm still alive, and I understand that when we talk about this work of black male achievement, and when we talk about doing things to better the lifestyles of black men and boys throughout this country, we ourselves need to be taken care of first. Right. I just want to set the tone with that, because even though this work is important and what we're doing right now is pivotal, self-care will carry us through. I know we talked about this 10 to 24 as the violence and homicide are the #1 causes of death, but if we broaden that number out a little bit more, the actual cause of death changes. So for my older gentlemen, my younger gentlemen, specifically, because we as black men, I know we need to take care of ourselves. I've currently lost 170 pounds, and I feel really good about it. Thank you. The reason why I'm so excited about this is because it really is a testament to who we are as black men and what we can overcome and accomplish. Now, let's get into this call to action. I got 4 charges for you today. 4 charges. So my first one is exposure. Everything that I'm talking about today are things that I've picked up over the conference over the last 2 days. And the first and one of the most important things that I've heard everybody talk about is exposure. Yesterday we talked about it from a different standpoint when it came to millennial voices being heard. However, when I talk about exposure, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. So I'm from Chicago, if you don't know. Right outside of Chicago, we have an area called the North Shore. It's where a lot of Chicago's biggest athletes, doctors, lawyers, CEOs stay. And it's a 7-city stretch with mansions that literally start from $1 million and go all the way up to $20 million. You got houses that got beaches and lakefronts on the back. And one thing that I love about this is that it's given me the opportunity to start taking some of the young men that I mentor out there on a weekend to weekend basis. I took one of my 17-year-olds out there probably about 5 months ago. And when I took him out there, he was just marveled as we walked on the beach and he saw the homes, and as we were driving through the area, he said to me, I would put my gun down for this lifestyle right here. And I asked him, I'm like, well, what's stopping you? He was like, honestly, before this moment, I didn't know that I could have something like this, or even that it existed. Exposure. And in that moment, something clicked inside of me, and I saw that behavior changes with belief.
Come on.
So what we have to do within exposure is get them to begin to believe in something different. Not just giving them a platform, but allowing them to sit in rooms like this with the greats in this work.
That's right.
And I'm not just talking about my achievers, I'm talking about the least of these.
Come on.
Because a lot of times when we have these black men come into rooms with suit and ties, it's when they're on their court date getting ready to get their final judgment.
Come on.
So it's time to shift how we do what we do when it comes to exposure. Now we're talking about these homes. They say that you can take a nigga out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the nigga. And I apologize if the N-word offends you, I'm sorry. But when we talk about this work with black men and boys, and between my speaking around the country, my mentoring work within Chicago, and starting to mentor other young black men around this country, this attitude, this lifestyle, this mindset of being a real nigga in their mind is real. So if I go on a block and I shoot you up, I'm a real nigga. If I get killed by the ops or by the cops, the homie's gonna put my face on a t-shirt and I'm labeled as a real nigga. So what do? If you missed my second point, I just gave it to you. The second charge is to reinvest.
Come on.
We have to stop treating our black men like a buy one, get one free sale at Jewel's.
Go ahead, Rich.
And what do I mean by that? When you look at buy one, get one free, there's a small fine print that says something of equal or lesser value. We cannot continue to give valueless effort and call it change.
Come on.
So what I'm charging you to do today is to think about how you reinvest. Something I had to learn from myself. Look, back in college, like I said, I lost 170 pounds. That 170, I gained that. There was a lot of things going on as a young black man going through college for the 5 years that I was there. My GPA was at a 1.4. I put on 170 pounds. I was being abused in a relationship for a year and a half. On Dr. King's birthday of 2008, I took a 12-inch blade down my wrist and tried to end my life. During this time, I had a lot of issues with my father. And it wasn't until maybe 6 months before I got married that I actually had to sit down with this man and talk to him, because I said I didn't want to take these demons into the next level of my life.
Come on.
And in this conversation with my dad, he apologized to me. He was like, this whole time I was investing in you, but I wasn't investing what you need. I'm not taking anything away from the work that you all have been doing, but what I'm saying is that we need to step back, observe, and then begin to reinvest. Because there is more work to be done. How we in Philly, it's levels to this.
Come on. Meek.
It's levels to this work. And with those levels comes a time for us to begin to reinvest and rethink how we do what we do. My third charge, be transparency. I know a lot of times people are like, you mean transparent? No, because you can have a transparent moment. But when you create transparency as your lifestyle, that's when the door begins to open. That's when their minds begin to click. That's when trust.
Right.
That's when trust can really come in and we can build a bond.
Right.
Like I said, and I'm not talking about just our achievers. I'm talking about our underachievers. I'm talking about those that are on that red line and those who are well beyond beneath it. Because the harsh reality is that one bad mistake, one bad decision, that could have been us. Y'all, like, look, you can talk back to me if you want to, and if you don't, it's okay. My man Alex P.A. said he would back me up.
You already know,
but what
Rich.
I'm saying is this. We need to get out. Look, I get it. We've thrived in life. We've done some great things. But let's not forget where we came from. Because it's so easy to get caught up in the new lifestyle.
Tell the truth.
That we are oblivious and turn a blind eye to what we could have been had somebody else not been transparent in their work and their effort with us. So I got my second book, my new book, Between the Dream. When we talk about this idea of being between the dream, I actually got this from Sean Dove. He always says to me, the point between your present moment and your promise is your process. And then he'll follow up and say, embrace the process. When we talk about transparency, this is the process. But the issue is that when a lot of people come up and talk to our youth, our young men, our young women, they say, oh, my life was here, and now it's here. But what did your in-between look like?
Right.
Give me something to believe in.
Come on.
Give me something that I can look at and say, you know what? Impossible is nothing. So with that, I give you my final charge, which is Starve the Beast, chapter 9 in this book.
Yes.
And when I say starve the beast, I'm not talking about some mythical character that's going to hop out of your body when the clock strikes 12 and the moon comes out. When I say starve the beast, I'm talking about starve every distraction.
Come on.
Starve every temptation. Starve everything that makes you feel like this work is impossible. Starve everything that tells you in your mind that we're going in a cycle. Starve every thought. Starve every bit of doubt. Starve every bit of fear and do a gut check. And begin to think about why you're in this work. What is your motive? Because a lot of us, we tend to be in this work, unfortunately, And we still have the habit of being prejudiced to the same people that we say we want to reach.
Go ahead.
Come on.
Go ahead, Rich.
Y'all not gonna talk to me.
Come on, Rich.
I got two people up here who will keep it 100 with me. But what I'm saying is that a lot of times we get in these rooms, we say that we want to reach certain people, but guess what? It never goes anywhere beyond our title. So my call today is action. Starve the beast that makes you feel like you can't do this. We're 5 months in, and I know a lot of you all are tired already. You didn't even get a break from December 31st to January 1. You got right back into it. Let's be real. Come on, talk. I get it. I had this conversation with Erica not too long ago, actually, where we talked about this. We come into these convenings, we come into these conferences, and we are dog tired. We feel like, look, we can't go on. Like, okay, another conference, another convening, but look, today, I refuse to allow you all to walk out of here being the same way that you came when you came in.
Come on.
So today,
Let's talk, Brother
speaking
Taylor.
life back into you. I'm speaking hope back into you. Like I said, it's levels to this.
Come on.
So you might be on 2 or 3 right now, but you got 10 more to go. Where are you?
Come on.
Find yourself and begin to move. And through your transparency,
Yes, he is.
through the exposure, through you reinvesting. Let's take on that reinvestment one more time. When you look at the stock market, you can put money into something and not get a return, right?
Right.
Typically, that's considered a bad investment, or
Lost some
there we
profit.
go. But what happens when you put your money in the right things? Yesterday afternoon, I gave you all this charge. I said time, talent, and treasure. Everything isn't about funding. How can we begin to give our time, our talent, and our treasure to inspire them and ultimately help change them? But before we go out this door and do it, we have to do it in here. In order to unite cities, we must first unite hearts within this building. Then we can go out and inspire and impact. And I'll finish it with a quote from my book that says, "You are not losing, you are not failing, you are simply between the dream." And collectively as a body, we are not losing. We are not failing. We are simply between the dream. Thank you for your time.
Woo!